This video covers working with contractors and designers and other trade accounts in XOLights. From the dashboard, which is what we're looking at here, you can see two buttons that are meant to help you with your trade accounts. Look up an account and create a new account. If I click on look up an account, it will take me to the accounts page. This will show me all of the different trade accounts that I've got. So first you have your web orders and your walk-ins, but then below that you have all of your contractors, designers, developers, any other type of trade account that you've got. You're going to be listed, grouped together. And to open one up, you just double click on them. To open them up, you just double click on them. And then once they're in there, you can see all of their different homeowners and spec home projects. You can see what information you've got in there for them. If you click edit account information here, it will pull up their business page, their account information. You can see this is where you have the name of the business and all of their contact information. So this top block here is their primary business information, and then down here you have your primary contact here. And then if you scroll down a little bit further, you have your account settings. So this is where you pick what type of account they are, and you can change that at any time, of course. And then you have who your assigned sales rep is, and that is important because that assigned sales rep will get an email when this trade account submits an order. Now everything else here deals with special pricing, and what you want to set up here is going to depend on how you do your pricing with your contractors and designers, and that does vary quite a bit from showroom to showroom. So I'll show you all of the options, and then you can just use any of them or a combination of any of them. So the first one is the default discount. This would be if you wanted to do a certain percentage off of your in-store pricing for that particular trade account. So in this case, I have it set up to be a 10% discount, and that's just going to be off of everything. And then you can choose down here how that's going to show up. So you can see show discount as total, show discount as percentage. Both of those show up towards the end of the process on the finalize estimate page. And then you have apply discount to items. That would make it so that once they're logged in, that trade account is going to see their discounted price regardless of what they're looking at. Now the rebate is typically used if you have a trade account that's a little bit more customer facing that may need to hide their discount every now and then. For example, a lot of designers will be putting together an order with a customer present and will want to display retail pricing rather than their discounted pricing. With a rebate, they can do that. I've put in the 10% there. What will happen is that discount isn't going to pop up automatically at any point, but towards the end of the process, there's a button that they can click that will pull that information up, so they have complete control over when it shows and when it doesn't. And they can also choose whether or not they want to print the rebate when they print a receipt. So they could print one with it for their records and then one without it for the customer. So the default discount or default rebate will work if you have a kind of general discount off of your in-store pricing for the contractors and designers. But in the case that your pricing is a little bit more complicated, you have the tiers. So I have in here my default tier, which is my in-store pricing, my web tier, which is my web pricing, and then I have added in a tier. You can see contractor tier level 1. You can add in as many different tiers as you need to in the item markup section. And those will allow you to really customize your pricing. You can put in markup rows and set specific vendors to a particular markup or discount, and you can do the same thing with categories and subcategories. So you can get really specific. I know some people will do one discount on lighting products and a different discount on home decor for some of these trade accounts. If you've set it up as a tier in your item markups area, that will be available anytime you create or edit a trade account. You'll be able to see that tier in the drop down and choose to select it for any one that you want to. If you don't remember how to do the item markups, I suggest you watch the video on markups and discounts. You do have to be an administrator to set that up. So if you are not an administrator and you do need to have a certain tier in there set up a certain way, you'll have to grab one of the system administrators and have them create that for you. But just as a reminder, you go to item markups here, and then you can add in as many tiers as you need and set whatever pricing you want on there. So I'll just call this contractor tier level 2. And then I would set my default markups and my markup rows and specials rows to reflect the appropriate pricing. And then when I go back and either add a new trade account or edit an existing trade account, like here, that will start appearing in this tier markup. Now you can see contractor tier level 1, contractor tier level 2, and again, you just go in and you assign those to whoever needs them. Now down here, the username and password is something that you create for the contractor. It's not something they create because they can't create their own accounts in the system, because a lot of times there's special pricing associated with them and you don't want them setting up that special pricing for themselves. So you would create the username and password and give that to them so that they could log in. And in the event that they forget their password, you can see here there is an existing one. I can see the username. The password, I really don't know what that is because it will always appear as 8 dots there. But in the event that he's forgotten it and he wants me to reset it, I can go in and reset that for him and save that, and then he can go in and log in and he would be able to reset that password to something else once he was logged in. Okay, now looking at this page, this is their account information. I can see they have one customer in here. You can add in additional ones for them. You can see add new homeowner project, add new spec home project. The homeowner project is just the same screen that you would see if you clicked add a new homeowner from the dashboard. The only difference is when you add it from the account page of a contractor or designer, it will link that customer with that trade account, and then once they log in, they'll be able to see that customer's information and all of the customer's projects that you've added in there for them. Spec home projects are very similar to homeowner projects. Really, the only difference is it only has a name field rather than all of those other information fields. The reason for that is that this would typically be used for a building project. Everything else is exactly the same as the homeowners page though. Now, with the homeowners, looking at them, you can see a little blue plus sign by this homeowner. What this plus sign means is that there is some sort of project, either an estimate, order, or wish list that this customer has in this system. So when I click that little blue plus sign, it opens it up and I can see here's that particular project. Looks like that's a confirmed order, and I can actually double click on it to pull it up. You see what they had in there, all of that. So let's actually go back now. Now, if you had a couple of them in, I'm just going to add in project real quick here. Alright, so this is what it looks like. You can see the account name in the corner. Let me go back there. Now you can see a list. So here's one that doesn't have any sort of project for it. Now let's say that they both did. They both had blue plus signs on there. And I just wanted to open all of those up at once. I could hit this expand all button and it would expand every single homeowner or spec home project under this account, and that would allow you to just scroll through and look at all of the information in there. There's a lot of helpful information. You can see the creation date for this particular project, the last modified date, so the last time something was changed on it, and then who the sales rep is. And then this status here, exported as one that you would see if you have an integration with some sort of back-end system. Typically what you're going to see is something like in creation, wish list confirmed, or something like that. And every estimate order or wish list will have its own unique number, and you can use those to kind of keep things straight or to look them up. Now when you want to create one, you just come to the dashboard and click create a new account, and you can see all of the fields that we were talking about before are in here. You would just fill them out from scratch rather than editing them like we were talking about before. Okay, so here's what the contractor sees. And you can see the same projects page here. They can add in new homeowners, they can add in new spec home projects, they can edit their business information. So this is where he could potentially reset his password after you had changed it for him. And of course they can also update their business information if that ever changes. Now this is the projects page. They can get back to it at any point by clicking projects. Look up here would give them this. Now we were just looking at how each estimate order and wish list has their own unique number. If you had one that you wanted them to look at, you could just say, hey, look up order number 56943 or whatever it was. They could type that in and hit find and be able to pull that up in their system. Now they can also double click on a homeowner here to see all of that homeowner's information, add new estimates, all of that. Here we've got this homeowner. If I double click on that, you can see there's that order. They can view it, which would allow them to open it up, to edit it if they needed to make any customizations, or submit that to you if they wanted to do that. And then the copy here, if you click that, it actually allows you to copy and paste estimates. So you can name it whatever you want. A lot of times we'll use packages. This way we'll create the package once and then just copy and paste it over to whoever needs it and allow them to edit that. And notice, even though I copied it as an order, it pastes as an estimate. It will always paste as an estimate. Kind of a cool thing here is you can copy it from one homeowner and then go and open up a different homeowner and paste that on. And then it will just appear in there like that. Also notice that they have the option to add new estimates. Of course, so they can also open up the catalog and put together a wish list and save that to one of their customers as well. Uh, I'm going to actually just open this up because I want to show you a few things. With the contractors, a lot of times things are going to look very similar to the way they would when you're doing them, but they don't have the full privileges that you do. For example, they can't display costs or see any of that. They can't override prices. They can put in billing and delivery information, but down here again there are going to be differences. You can type over these fields. They're not going to be able to. They can pick a shipping option though, and they can go in and type in notes for you. Now you see this little R button here. This R is the rebate that I put in for this particular contractor. When I click it, they can see what percentage it is and what that comes out to as a dollar amount. And then when they go down to print this, they can choose to include the rebate or not when they print. Of course, the biggest difference here is this submit order, and that refers to submitting it to you. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And it's going to give you this order summary here. And if you have your terms loaded, they'll appear down here. And then once they scroll past them, they'll get this where they can come in and agree to the terms. If they don't have the contact information in there, it's going to prompt them to fill that in. So I'm going to go ahead and just put something in here. And then the customer signature is just them typing their name. That's a digital signature. And then once they're ready, they can hit submit order, and that's when it's going to send the assigned sales rep an email letting them know that that's in there. And the contractor designer is going to get this thank you screen. Now, when you get this email, it's going to give you 3 ways that you can find that order in the system. First of all, there is a link in there, and that's probably the easiest way. When you click that, it will prompt you to log in, and then once you've done that, it'll just open the order right away. The other thing is you can hit the look up and estimate and type in the order number, which will be in the email. And last but not least, you can go in to that particular contractor, just open them up and hit that expand all we were talking about earlier, and you can see the one that was submitted is in red, and that's just to make sure that it's easy to find. You just go ahead and double click on it to open it up. You can see everything that's in there, make sure it looks right, and then you would just go through the normal process that you have of fulfilling the order, making sure the customer gets the items, making sure that the payment is processed through whatever method you have set up with the contractor. And then once everything is complete, you can come down and confirm the order. And it's giving me the option to print, and I'm going to choose not to right now. And once it's done that, let's go back over here. You can see when I hit expand all, that particular project has gone back to black. So that's what you need to know about working with contractors. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to contact our client services department at clientservices@xolights.com, or to use any of the additional resources on this site. As always, thanks for watching and have a great day.